Hey guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about supplements versus food. Now, the old school, or now again the new school, thinking of many people are you should try to get all your nutrients from foods, whole foods, and not use supplements. Now, I'm in agreement to where you don't need supplements because I have seen people progress and get to their peak without them, but they also use some kind of performance enhancing substance. So they did eat whole foods, but they were taking steroids. So those actually take the place of supplements. Supplements are a more natural means of taking the place of illegal anabolic steroids. Now, excuse me, when I first started training as a young teenager, the first mentor I had, Al Thurston, was not a big supplement fan. So he was teaching us to do it through whole foods. We did the Gold's Gym Nutrition Analysis program, and it was chicken breasts, tuna, broccoli, brown rice, sweet potatoes, the whole, basic whole foods that you would do for bodybuilding. And then when I was about 18, or I came back from school when I was 18, and I got to work at a sports nutritionist called Daniel Chapter 1. Now, Daniel Chapter 1, or DC1 as it was nicknamed, was the pioneers in biomolecular nutrition. So I got to study under Jim Figio and his wife Trish Figio, who took naturopathy, which is the natural use of herbs and things like that to do healing, and applied it to sports science or athletics, bodybuilding, football, whatever. So while I was working there, my mind changed a little bit. I started to realize that supplements had their place and they worked. So what Jim and Trish did was their first supplement that they had produced was a meal replacement. And this meal replacement would take the place of meals. So if you were trying to gain weight and you couldn't eat enough, you could take this meal replacement. Or if you didn't have an appetite and you didn't feel like eating a meal, you could take this supplement. Then they had pre-workouts, post-workouts, stuff like that. And I started to see people get the results that they couldn't get with the whole foods on their own for whatever reason. Whether they could eat them or they didn't, like them, whatever the reason was, they had their place. So now fast forward, 15 years, and we have a booming supplement industry worth billions of dollars of products. And, we have new things that have come out. They're coming out all the time now that help you get to your goals in natural ways. Well, some in unnatural ways too, but we'll talk about that in a second. So I do believe supplements have their place. I do use a lot of supplements. I do not believe in this day and age that even if you had grass-fed beef and non-farm raised fish and all these things, you're not getting the type of nutrients from the soil anymore that's going into the things that are feeding the cows, like the grass and stuff. You're not getting the same things in the vegetables, vitamin-wise, nutrient-wise, because it's just not in the soil anymore. Environmental toxins over time, things that have affected the soil, the nutrients are just not getting in there. So you need to supplement them, because if you don't have all your vitamins and minerals at least, your body doesn't function at 100%. And you want it to be functioning at 100% as long as possible. So, those things are important to take. Now, supplement-wise, the way I look at it, there are different tiers of supplements. There's your foundation or your base supplement, which would be your vitamins and minerals. It would be antioxidants, your fish oils, stuff like that. Then you would have what I consider is just one step up from the foundation, which would be your protein powders, your meal replacements, your CLAs, things that would, more or less take the place of food, not take the place of the nutrients that are in the food, like your foundation. So you have your vitamin, minerals, meal replacements, and protein powders. And then you start to get into things like the non-hormonal supplements that affect the way your body reacts, but not hormonally. Stuff like creatine monohydrate, stuff like glutamine, stuff like the pre-workouts that contain some caffeine and stuff in them, some beta-alanine in them, things like that don't affect your testosterone system, your hormones, your growth hormone, anything like that. And those would be like right above the protein and the whey protein and the meal replacements. And then you have these new ones that have been out for the last, I say 10 years. And those are the hormonal ones, the pro-hormones or the pro-steroids. So what they do is they have a plant extract that is like 2 molecules away from a steroid. And what they do is when you ingest this pro-hormone, there's an enzyme in your body that converts it into the steroid. So it converts it into testosterone. Well, they used to have one that converted it into DECA, which was a 19-norandrostenedione. And all these things have been pulled by them off the market because they were, teenagers were getting their hands on them and bad things were happening with the younger kids using them. And then you have now the ones that are actual steroids that they put on the market. things like Emdrol or Superdrol, which are unclassified steroids. These are drugs, no doubt about it, hands down, powerful, toxic drugs that hit the market that are just not classified. And as the FDA finds out about them and classifies them, they pull them off the market. These companies come up with another unclassified steroid that's one molecule away, has a little bit of different name. They put that out until they get caught. So you have those that are on the market now too. So it can be tricky with the things that are on the market. And then you have the things that just don't work, period. In the 90s, there was a huge boom with things like boron, which is a mineral that supposedly increased testosterone. Didn't work. Smilax comes from the Mexican sarsaparilla root that supposedly increased testosterone. Didn't work. Dibengazide, which is the coenzyme version of B12, which is supposed to raise testosterone, a growth hormone, doesn't work. So you have these other things that are on the market that supposedly have research behind them and they work. But when you read the research paper, pretty much it's 90-year-old people in a bed that haven't eaten in 6 months, and they gave them an injection of this stuff IV, and their testosterone went up like a half a point. So all of a sudden it increases testosterone. They put it in a sublingual thing where you can put it under your tongue, and you now have a new supplement on the market for athletics. But a lot of those have been cleared off the market because they just don't work. So in closing, what I want to say is, those of you that don't believe in supplements, that's fine. Maybe you can get all your nutrients through foods and stuff like that, but you will definitely get to a higher level or the next level if you start including some of these supplements into your regimen. They don't have to be the hormonal and the non-hormonal. They could be just your vitamin mineral stack. But I think it's really important in this day and age to make sure that you get the basic necessities that you can't get through food through supplements.